Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is like the 5th time on this because I keep messing up. Anyways, this isn't the story that I was going to do. I'm sorry, but I just decided that this one I think is better. Not really, but I just want to do this one just because I like this one. Anyways, this one is just called Defeated. It's still an AsaNoya x AsaNoya, so it's still on that. Here's the writer of the story. They're pretty good. Here are the stories. We're reading this one, so let's just get right into this. Continue, and I already liked the story because, well, I already liked it. Anyways, let's just get into this. Okay. The volleyball boys across the snow sat in the school bus in silence. Today was the day they were going to beat the Grand King. They were going to beat him and any team after and go to nationals together. But they lost. They lost to him, the Grand King. All the boys were quiet. Some decided to take a nap, but AsaNoya wasn't one of them. The boy just simply stared out the window, reflecting silently, like most people would. What could I have done? The boy asked himself softly. What could I do now? Questions continued to race through his mind. The bus suddenly stopped, interrupting Noya and his reflection session. Yukai got up from his seat and announced, "We're back, so please wake up the people who are sleeping, grab your belongings, and go take a warm shower." AsaNoya looked over at Asahi, who was peacefully sleeping next to him. He shook the giant awake, causing the giant's eyes to slowly open. "Morning, princess," AsaNoya spoke softly, hoping Asahi isn't going to blame himself for the team's loss. Asahi smiled. "Morning," he asked. "I cannot pronounce this word correctly. I know what it means. Can't pronounce it correctly." Anyways, he just sounds so bad.
Groggily.
Answered. The ace looked around and realized that people were starting to leave. That sounds so weird. The ace looked around and realized that people were starting to leave. He swiftly grabbed his stuff and the pair exited the bus. They followed the rest of the team, without a word, not one of them knowing how to start conversation after the devastating event. AsaNoya resumed his reflection session. He replayed the match in his head. He replayed every ball he missed. He replayed every point he had given up. He replayed everything. The playback caused the boy an ache in the chest. He felt his footsteps get heavier, body get tenser, and vision get blurrier. He felt so defeated. He felt responsible. No, he is responsible. If he had just gotten every ball that came his way, maybe they wouldn't have lost. If he trained a little harder, he probably wouldn't have given up points. Just maybe. Maybe they could have won. But because of his poor play, that winning opportunity went right out the window. And now they were here, suffering, all because of him. Suddenly, droplets of water hit the floor. As he looked down, after a few more steps, AsaNoya realized that those droplets were tears, and he blinked in attempts to quickly get rid of them. In a quivering voice, the Libero spoke. "I forgot something." Asahi looked over at AsaNoya. Before he could say anything, AsaNoya turned and sped away in the direction of the bus. After a few minutes of running, AsaNoya had reached the spot where the bus once stood. Tears are already rolling down his cheeks, and he had to find a spot fast, so the boy quickly ran around, not wanting to get caught crying. The last thing he wanted was for someone to see him. After running, he ended up at the gym. Nishinoya knew he would get caught inside, and right now he just needed time to himself. So he ran to the back of the building. His back hit the wall and slid down slowly as he furiously wiped his tears. He sniffled. His eyes continued to sting, his nose became stuffy, and his heart ached more. He stopped wiping the ongoing tears and brought his knees to his chest. He placed his head on his knees and wrapped his arms to hide his face from the world. Right now, he didn't want to deal with the world. He didn't want to deal with anyone. For the first time in his life, he wanted to be alone. Nishinoya, the guardian... Sorry, I ruined the moment. Sorry. Nishinoya, the guardian god, finally broke down. He felt defeated. He is defeated. After minutes of sniffling passed by, a pair of feet approached before Anoya. The Libero looked up to find a hand extended out towards him. That hand belonging to a crying but smiling Asahi. Nishinoya looked away and hid his face once more. I don't deserve your help. I failed. Nishinoya... Oops, that's supposed to be said softly. That one more time. I don't deserve your help. I failed. Nishinoya softly said, feeling eyes sting. The giant said nothing, but he did move and sit next to him. The giant said nothing, but he did move and sit next to Nishinoya. The third year chuckled. You remind me of me, Asahi spoke, in his usual gentle voice. But someone changed that past me. Nishinoya stopped hiding his face and looked over at the ace. How did you change? Asahi looked back at Noya, smiling and wiping his own tears away with his shoulder sleeve. One of the younger kids taught me that it isn't right to blame anyone because everyone has different roles and limitations. He reminded me that I just gotta do what I can do best. That sounds so weird. Anyways, the spiky-haired boy looked up at the sky. He sounds like a good person. Asahi couldn't help but let a chuckle. You don't know who this person is? All Nishinoya could do was look over at his best friend with a confused look. Asahi reached and grabbed Nishinoya's hand. That boy was you. The smaller boy felt his face heat up. He quickly avoided Asahi's gaze, turning his head away. Don't say things like that, he stuttered. He's sorry. I'm so used to just the stutters. Anyways, he stammered. Nishinoya felt the warmth of his hand leave as Asahi climbed back up onto his feet. The giant walked in front of Noya and held his hand out once more. Nishinoya wiped off any remaining tears and accepted the hand and stood up, with Asahi's support. Suddenly, Asahi pulled the boy close to his chest and another word I can't pronounce.
Enveloped.
His arms around him. Nishinoya felt even more embarrassed. Asahi-san? Asahi didn't let go, but softly spoke. I love you. No matter what you do. Nishinoya melted into the ace's arms, but he couldn't let his friend with the Okay. I'm so sorry. This part is kind of confusing for me to read, but I'll try it. Okay. Nishinoya melted into the ace's arms, but he couldn't let his friend couldn't let his friend. With courage, Noya tiptoed, wrapping his bruised and slender arms around Asahi's neck, and shoved his lips into Asahi's. The spiker's eyes opened with shock to see Nishinoya's were completely shut. After a few milliseconds, Asahi smiled and kissed back, bringing the boy closer. He loved Nishinoya, and it seems that Nishinoya loved him too. Alright, that was such a cute story. So I'm gonna read because it's what I can do. I'm sorry that was pretty bad for my reading, for those few people who actually see this. So they couldn't pronounce words correctly either. But hey, I did it actually, and hey, here's a video. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this. And if you were confused, it's Haikyuu, and you should really, if you don't know what that is, you should go look it up because it's pretty darn cool. It's one of my favorite things ever. I mean, look at my background. Look at that. Anyways, that was all I have for you guys. I will probably make another video sometime soon. But anyways, don't die. Bye.